Elite Facts presents
Everyday things you didn't know the use for. Ever wondered what that blue part of the eraser was for? How about the weird studs on the jeans you're wearing right now? How about the bumps on the F and J keys of your keyboard? Well, in this video, we're going to be going over those as well as some other everyday items you didn't know the use for.
10.
The unexplained studs on your jeans. Now here's something that not many of us have noticed. Those studs on your jeans. What are they even supposed to be used for? Well, as far as most of us are concerned, it's just for aesthetic purposes. However, they did at one point serve a purpose. When Levi Strauss first began making jeans, they were primarily worn by miners and farmers. Manual laborers, in short, were his main consumer base.
9.
The soft inner lining of your underwear. This one doesn't really apply much to men, but rather women. So you've probably noticed that there's a second lining of a sort in your underwear. This secondary lining, made of soft tissue-like cotton, is called a gusset and is required if underwear is to meet the necessary health standards.
8.
The blue and white erasers. Okay, hands up if you've been told that the blue end of the eraser was used to erase anything that was written in pen. Okay, now raise your hands if you tried it and smudged the ink all over your paper because you took their advice, and because of this, you failed a test because your school or college was extremely strict with presentation, and you then proceeded to pelt the person who gave you the advice with said eraser. Too specific? Well, anyway, no, the blue side of the rubber is not used for ink. However, that didn't stop corporations from using this as a selling point. What that side of the rubber was really used for was to rub out the heavier pencil lines made on paper, and was to be used with thicker types of paper. We know, not exactly the most exciting of uses. Who would have thought an eraser rubbed out pencil lines?
7.
The raised bumps on the F and J keys. Okay, so in case you never noticed, take a quick look at your keyboard and look at the F and J keys. You may have noticed that the F and J keys have raised dots or bumps. If you spend a lot of time using a computer, you'll definitely have noticed, but you may not know what they're for. What these bumps are used for is to help users correctly position their left and right hand on the keyboard without having to look at the keyboard. Very pointless, but at least we know now.
6.
Those discs hidden under a bottle cap. Have you ever pried one of them out and found that your bottle still closes just fine? What purpose could they possibly serve then? Well, as it turns out, they serve a great purpose for those of us who like a nice cold soft drink on a hot summer's day, as they're there to create a seal that keeps everything in that bottle, both liquid and carbonation. Without this, our drinks would lose carbonation before we even buy it, thus making the drink flat. And let's be honest, who likes flat Pepsi? No one, that's who.
5.
That hole at the bottom of a lock. Before we have any people cracking wise, no, we're not talking about the keyhole. But have you ever noticed that little hole in the bottom of most padlock keys? Don't worry, there's a good reason that these are implemented into most locks today, as that little hole at the bottom of a padlock key is there to help oil the lock if it becomes rusty. It's not a way for anyone to try and crack it or anything, but rather a hole that's strictly used for maintenance. It also works as a drain to drain out any liquids that may go into the lock.
4.
That hole on a plain window. Don't worry, if you see this on your window, you're not going to get sucked out of it like Goldfinger in, well, Goldfinger. If you've ever been flying on an airplane and suddenly freaked out when you saw a tiny hole in the window right beside you, have no fear. This is merely a way to help regulate the air pressure which is passed through the window's inner and outer panes. You're not in danger, so chill out.
3.
That extra piece of fabric that comes with that extra button. Seems like a waste of fabric, doesn't it? Well, it sort of is, but at least it has a purpose. Now, the thing is, most people tend to think that they're simply a backup in case you rip your material. Now, although you could use it like that, it's actually there so that you can test the material with your laundry detergent or washing machine to see if it will have any negative effects on the material.
2.
Those buttons on Starbucks plastic coffee lids. If you've ever drank from a plastic lid, you probably know that there are usually a row of buttons on top of them. Now, this one is incredibly useful if you've gone through a drive-thru and bought drinks for several passengers. The reason these little buttons or tabs are on plastic lids is to help distinguish one drink from another. Smart, right? You can't tell me you've never been in a situation where you've mixed up people's drinks by accident and couldn't tell which one was which. It's a common thing. For example, if you purchase a diet soda and your friend purchases a regular soda, one of you can depress the button to tell the two apart. You're welcome. We just saved you arguments the next time you go on a long-distance trip with a friend.
1,
Second use for car headrest. Okay, admittedly, unlike the other items on this list, this one doesn't stick out so much as the item pretty much does what it says it's supposed to do. It's something you rest your head on. However, did you know that this actually has a second purpose? Now, knock wood that this doesn't happen to you, but let's just say that you're in an unfortunate scenario where you're trapped in your car and desperately need to get out. All you have to do is remove the headrest and wedge it into the windowsill of your car. Make sure the metal tongs are wedged into the window, and by cranking it lightly, the window will shatter, allowing you to make your exit. Just a handy little thing for you to know in case such a situation was to arise. And that's our list. Did we leave any out that you know about? Let us know in the comments section below. Please remember to subscribe and tap the bell button so you'll be notified when new videos are uploaded. Thanks for watching.
Don't forget to like us and subscribe for more Elite Facts.